Ladies, young ladies and gentlemen, good evening, everyone. You are welcome to this new geopolitical conference dedicated to world news, top stories, international news, this big victory of the Russian Federation in the Donbas has just whipped the pride of Europeans. Poland is not at all pleased. Poland overtaken by the nature of the Russian victory. The Minister Polish Foreign Affairs is emerging from his reserve and proceeding to frontal communication attack with Russia. Poland directly attacks the Russia. Well, verbally speaking, yes, because they are outdated. The way in which Russia recovered the Donbas, Pokrovsk in the Donbas, that's what overwhelmed them. So what is the first one? Polish minister, or at least the Minister Polish Foreign Affairs had to say. It must be said that this opens the Pandora's box again between the Poland and Russia. We must not deceive ourselves. Phase. So within the framework of this conference, geopolitics, it is of course this news that we are going to talk. There you go. But before we to continue, we must share the conference at maximum capacity. You need to give a lot of likes, and don't forget, if you are new here, please click on the subscribe button. Subscribe. That allows you to never miss the current news. Let's get to it. Deaths. This gentleman who is speaking, his name is Radoslaw Sikorski, Polish Minister of Foreign Affairs, Seluza Foreign. It's a figure, presidenta, and he is known to be anti-Russian. So Russia managed to penetrate Pokrovsk. Pokrovsk was the last lockdown in the Donbas. Even the British media have described this resounding entry of the Russia in Pokrovsk as being an entry similar to what we have seen in the film Mad Max Furiosa. But this entry has infuriated Mr. Sikorski, who stated this. Putin said he didn't live up to expectations. We thought Putin had the second largest army in the world. And Putin thought it would be a walk in the park, have a 3-day operation. But since for over 10 years he has still been fighting in the Donbas, I wouldn't call that a victory. For him, it's not a victory. When Putin went to the Donbas, I think it's been that long, 2014. For him, Putin thought that was going to be a simple walk in hell or something like that, 3 days. But no, that was 10 years ago now. So for him, it took 10 years for Putin may obtain a good part of the Donbas. That means that for him, this is not a victory. While all European states recognize this victory resounding, well, most states Europeans, he seeks to put things into perspective. For him, this is not a victory. So, what is the scope of the message? From Warsaw, Poland. Poland, therefore, seeks to delegitimize the victory and military power. What happened in the past? They want to question things for saying, no, it's nothing. They are moreover weak, while concealing their own weakness. They themselves conceal their own weakness because Poland is the NATO's gateway to the front east in the eastern flank. Poland plays a major role in terms of logistics, everything that follows with regard to from Ukraine. Several nations united, they gave everything to Ukraine and it went through Poland. Up until then, they failed to win a single 1 ounce of victory. Russia continues to win, going from victory to victory. And then it hurts them a lot. They don't want not to recognize this victory. But is Russia listening to this? Russia has reacted. First, Russia is not listening to this, they say. Russia continues to, he rushed in, but Russia reacted. So it must be said that these remarks, this foreign minister, intervened while Pokrovsk fell into the hands of the Russians. And it's a sign of verbal defiance. So Poland is trying to defy verbally Russia. What will this lead to? Poland puts things into further difficulty. So, as we are saying, we need to remember that Poland is the spearhead of NATO on the front is because the Poland has always played a role extremely strategic. It is the first NATO country to direct border of the conflict. Poland serves as a platform, military and humanitarian logistics for Kiev. So, with the statements that Poland has just been heard, if Russia decides to axe Poland, that's all Ukraine, which will be seriously in difficulty because it's the door NATO's entry. As I was saying in the introduction to the conference, that's where everything happens. So, Poland fuels the discourse of firmness while accelerating its own rearmament. Poland is in the process of to rearm properly, and therefore the very budget of the Polish defense has increased to 4% of GDP. We are witnessing a modernization accelerated. Purchase of weapons such as the Abrams tanks and Patriot systems, American. Poland is currently prepared. So if the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Polish foreign, has proceeded with this, the statement is that this minister, he knows that Poland is preparing. But will they be able to do anything against the Russian Federation? The answer is no. So the vision Polish, what is that? As long as Moscow, Europe must fight in the Donbas to arm themselves relentlessly. That certainly means after the Donbas is going to be all of Europe, starting with the Baltic states. And so, what are the repercussions? Diplomatic and symbolic aspects of this statement. First, the Russian response. The Kremlin described the remarks as Sirkoski of hysterical rhetoric. Here's what he said. He said it's a hysterical rhetoric. The Kremlin recalled that Poland is which became a NATO outpost when Kremlin's Russia qualifies Poland as a NATO outpost. This means that Poland is starting to be truly in line with target from Russia. That means that at all, things could blow up between Russia and Poland. And so it must be said that what is the truth on the ground? It is that the fights move more deep in the Donetsk, which proves that the war continues, but not to Kiev's advantage, not to Kiev's advantage NATO, nor even to the advantage of this famous coalition of volunteers. So Russia responded, but if Poland persists, Poland will certainly receive a few drone visits, even if these drones are not going to strike like we saw it very recently. And so, ladies and gentlemen, that was the front page of the news. I'll get back to you soon. The hour with new information.